Cool. There we go.
Sorry about that.
You back in the game?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Got the sound going.
I'm sorry about that, y'all. Sorry.
So, I appreciate everybody hanging with us with that. But again, tonight we're talking about threw me damn off.
Sorry.
Avoid getting stuck in life. Like I said, I was introducing for the sound went out. My awesome producer DJ Lab.
My bad, y'all. I pushed the button behind the board. I don't know what I pushed the off button for the condenser mics, but I'm sorry, y'all.
It's all G. It's all G. Also, it's the mother producer Sleep 316. What's up, Reek?
What's going on, Rick?
Yeah, man. And again, we're talking about how to avoid getting stuck. Right now we're streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. Again, it's Change the Lives, hosted by Deonte Burden. The main hub is the Change the Lives, hosted by Deonte Burden YouTube channel. Got a blue man icon. Make sure you go there and subscribe if you have to leave in the middle of the show. If you come in later, we're definitely got a call in going in tonight, 678-740-9894. I know last time we had a call in, we had some colorful caller talking about his personal stuff. We don't want to have that at night.
Right.
Remember, guys, call in, add to the conversation, how to avoid getting stuck in life. If you have any kind of situation where you might feel like you might be complacent, you might be stuck, what's up a little bit? You can't get ahead, things seem like they're going in a big loop for you in life. Feel free to call in, shade situation. We talk about it, maybe I give you some advice on how to get out of it and everything. We're definitely looking to have a great conversation with you guys tonight. When I start thinking about things like this and getting stuck, it's a common experience, and I want to give you guys some strategies. I know with myself, I went through the whole getting stuck aspect when I was working in corporate America. I felt pretty good, made decent wages and everything. It was cool, and I hit the proverbial glass ceiling, and I remember just working in there. This is the second time this shit happened to me.
Okay.
The first time it happened to me, I was working at the railroad.
Okay.
And I remember the same thing one of my uncles said to me. I was like, I got to leave the railroad because, I'm working in Revenue County and there. And one of my uncles, he's old, he's an older guy, but he didn't mean no harm. He's like, Poochie, he had like I was, crazy hell for thinking about leaving. I'm like, no. you know, I wanted more money. He's like, well, that's good money at the railroad. You know,
Right.
I ain't want good money. I want what they're paying a white boy.
You want excellent.
Yeah, you know. Shit, the white boys, man, that's for raises.
Right.
Yeah, you know, my ass got to go in there and get this whole damn I have dreams speech and get a damn raise and shit.
Right,
Tell them what I'm doing and all that.
Right.
The white boys, they just go to damn, have a couple drinks. And,
Go to lunch.
yeah, hell, hey.
They in 6 figures.
Yeah, well, look at just, you know, do some couple things, man. Just it'll be a great fit for it.
Right.
I ain't get none of this. You know what I'm saying? I got to go campaign. And fast forward to my next gig, when I was working at ACCT, I remember when I was working out, you know, you should store like 90 damn companies.
Right.
But same damn thing happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my ass messed around, got my master's degree. I'm ready to get paid.
Right.
All this kind of stuff. Man, they started doing the same bullshit, you know.
Right.
Well, you know, with Deonte, these folks were actually even more gangster. They wanted me to do more work and still didn't even want to pay me or promote.
Oh wow.
She got me. But,
They want you to prove yourself.
man, prove myself after damn 15 years.
Right.
But again, the night show we're talking about how to avoid getting stuck. I had really put myself in a position because the thing of it was that was good about that job, to be honest with you. I was able to run all my businesses. Job was great, money was good, working downtown, awesome atmosphere. But I really just got complacent.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like, and then when I wanted to actually do some things differently, it couldn't fit in there because I had to really just got myself so fat. What I mean by fat is just, the analogy that I couldn't even move.
Right.
Like, hey, listen, man, you done dug yourself. People not looking at me, and I don't think it was fair. People just looking at me. That's just Deonte.
Right.
I didn't want to give them opportunities. Now, when they say it, I didn't see nobody else doing anything differently either, but I still was giving them opportunities. But in my case, that wasn't the deal. So I had to kind of, shake myself up with doing it, get the hell on.
Evaluate the situation.
Well, yeah, because here's the deal, man. We know that a lot of times people want to do things different.
Mm-hmm.
And we talk about that a lot on the show in regards to those game-changing moments in your life.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get a divorce. You got to quit a job. You got to move. You got to get out of a relationship. They're extremely frightened.
Mm-hmm.
They're extremely frightened because it's different. A lot of times people want to avoid change and do things differently. The issue comes up is can you get over that hump?
Right.
The thing about it, if you make one of those those game-changing moments, it puts you in a different stratosphere in life. Whole different stratospheres as far as making a positive impact on your life. And a lot of times, if you can get past that fear of doing that, you'll be okay. People scared, man, I can't do this. I got kids. I can't do this because, man, I've been here all this time. My pension or some kind of
right. Something.
Not saying stuff ain't legit,
right?
But you still can make some changes. And I think that what happens is once you just stay so long, you're going to go through the motions. I don't think people realize, man, how precious life is. You can't get that time back,
man. Man, that is so true.
You stayed at that job so long, and you ain't really got nothing to show for it. That little funky ass plaque on your on the dresser.
Oh, what was that guy gave that they BK gave that guy who ain't never missed a day in 20 years? A couple of pens and a Burger King cup.
Yeah, I'm just saying, even like relationships, anything that you say that like, hey man, stuck here.
Right.
You got to be prepared to go in a frightening situation.
Mm-hmm.
The fear of the unknown is the greatest. Fear of the unknown is the greatest fear of all.
Right.
And I think when people make a decision to like, look, man, my fear of staying is greater than my fear of changing.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I think people is less fear than my fear of changing. That's what people be able to. It makes a difference in their lives.
Right.
But I want to share this with you guys because I know how easy it is to get complacent, to get comfortable and everything. So I just want to kind of give you guys some tidbits. What's up, Savage Bliss?
Say hey to your mama while you taking the
What's up, mama?
Hey, mama. Hey, mama.
What's up?
I was just saying, hey,
mama. What's up, mama?
Hey, mama.
I'm talking to my mom on the way in and stuff like that.
Okay.
Rap about it. But again, we're talking about how to avoid getting stuck in life. Call in number 678 740-9894. Again, the call-in number 678-740-9894. And one of the first things I think people should do when they want to avoid getting stuck is set clear goals for themselves.
Right.
We talk about it all the time, guys. Remember, when we set these goals, they got to be what? Two things: incremental and attainable.
Attainable.
So
we say that in every show, just about.
Yeah, exactly. We don't just want to just say some shit you know you can't damn do.
Right.
So that you know that's realistic and you can kind of break it down over time.
Right.
You want to define your vision.
Uh-huh.
Okay, this is what I'm trying to do. This is where I want to be. You know what I'm saying? I want to start this new business. I want to get out of this relationship. I want to make sure that I move to Houston, right? Now I want to move. I want to move here. I want to actually, get my certification for da. Specifically, and I can break it down over how long it's going to take, incremental wise, what I need to be doing in the stages. To get there, and just have that stuff wrote down, and that way, when it's written down, you can visualize, you can see it, it's plain as day. Hey man, look, you good to go.
Right.
I think people again avoid stuff by not they're not trying to sit here and just write it down and be accountable. I want to make $1 million.
Okay.
I want to invest. That shit don't happen.
Not that way anyway.
That ain't gonna happen. It's putting words.
Right.
We have to write it down and put it in our face and make it accountable for us. And have that whole vision set out, right? Again, we're trying to avoid getting stuck, right?
Right.
The easiest thing you can do is just keep avoiding looking at it. But when you got it in your face,
it's a different
thing. See it, the vision boards are real. The goal boards are real because you got to see it and deal with it.
Hey, Angela Burks.
What's up, Angela? Savage Bliss PR said, let's be frank, for a lot of people, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know. The notion is real. Fear can be the most crippling feeling in the world. Totally agree with that. I think a lot of times people keep things in a certain box. And with all the challenges, we're talking about being afraid of fear. They keep things in a certain box, so they don't have to, address it.
Right. One of the things I do when I, people say I'm crazy, but to me, it helps me keep me from getting comfortable and complacent. When I get like now in my office now, I have nothing in there personal, no pictures, no nothing, because I want, when I go in, I want to know that at any minute this could be over. You get what I'm saying?
You always been that way?
Always been that way.
Really?
Always have never put no pictures, it's always a sterile. My office is sterile. Computer and whatever photos I need to work on for real estate, that's it. You will feel no personal pictures. You will see no personal nothing in my office. So I've always been that way. But that when I go in there, it makes me remind myself, look, this could end at any chance, anytime. I always need to be prepared to go somewhere else or do something else. Yeah, because you go to some people's offices, go in my building, and they got pictures up and teddy bears and flowers everywhere, and I'm like, nah.
Now, let me ask you this, Lab. Do you think that's what has experience taught you to do that, or do you think that just
well, it's always been that way for me, but experience has definitely solidified that for me.
I think depending on what kind of organization you work for, some of it is kind of like, okay, pretty much you're locked in. I see that happening more often.
Right.
When I was more a fast-paced corporate environment, people kind of like that, the bare minimum in their cubicle. But then I remember even like with the railroad, people there 30, 40, 50 years, they had, like you said, the whole damn curtains hanging up.
Right.
Because it's kind of like in the culture.
Right.
That you be a film. So I understand that. Once you get on that chopping block a couple times, it kind of gets you hardened to protect yourself.
Right.
With certain things.
I just don't think people should get that comfortable in their place of work. I just don't think they should get that comfortable where you just got so much stuff in there. It's like your little room. It's one lady in her office. I go by her office every day and shake my head. She has so much stuff in that office. I just don't feel like people should get that personal.
I understand where you're coming from, but I think, is that realistic to be that way if you never run across threats?
I'm sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
If you ain't never been laid off, you never really had the threat of being laid off. I think where we are right now in society, we're not in that, the whole mindset. I'll say, I don't get no damn letters wrong to Generation X.
I think we're in Gen.
We in X, ain't we?
Yeah.
Gen Z is the younger kid, millennials.
Yeah.
But,
I think we're Gen X.
but you know, the whole baby boomers, even Generation X people, like,
We Generation X.
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. We still in the last tier of the pension, retirement, and go here, work so many
30
years,
days.
and now you're good. So I think now the mindset is different. People just they don't care to be there that long. You know what I'm saying? But and it could be culture, attitude, however and stuff. People just kind of thought that way. Hey, I'm here good, and I can start, wait a couple years.
I mean, not like you say, our fathers and uncles taught us, let's go work at the auto plant, get a job at our plant, work there 30 years, retire on our pension, and we be good.
Exactly.
Post office, stuff like that.
Exactly. But, that's not the way of thinking, the advanced way of thinking right now. And so I kind of like that. I just don't think some younger generations really think that. I don't think they realize they're going to get old one day.
Right.
So I think that's just going to be the funky spot with that. I like the Gen Zs, the kids, even millennials. But I don't think they're going to get old one day. And I don't think they're prepared for their own thing. But I do like the whole moving around and not complacent with that. But when we talk about just not getting stuck, we just talking about job. We're talking about relationships, situations. Raising grown kids,
right?
Yeah, raising grandbabies,
right?
There's all kind of shit that can go along with doing certain things. Where we're like, hey man, like look, this is not how I had the shit planned. This is not how I had envisioned. I did not think I would be dealing with damn crazy ass woman the rest of my damn life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All this kind of stuff. Be like, man, how in the world did I get caught up into this? And it happens a lot, man.
I think a lot of us get stuck and we don't realize we stuck. You know how when we realize we stuck is when the relationship or whatever the case may be, whatever ship it is, sinks or break down. Then we start to say to ourselves, like, I'm not shy. I said it many times on here. When I got divorced, I was so stuck that I didn't realize anything that I like to do.
Yeah,
that's how stuck I was in that relationship. I wasn't exploring nothing that I wanted to do because it was all about them. So I was stuck in that way. My mental was stuck on their happiness instead of mine. You get what I'm saying? So when those relationships end, whatever the relationship may be, whatever husband, wife, boyfriend, whatever, when those relationships end, it's usually when people realize they were just stuck. Like, dang, I've been with this motherfucker 25 years now. I don't even know what I like.
And like I said, I don't think that's nothing uncommon. Savage Publicity PR says a lot of people witness their parents become comfortable in scenarios. Most people repeat what they see. It's completely normal. I don't know if it's normal. I think it is easy.
Right.
I don't know if it's normal. I think it's easy. Because again, that's something because everybody had different things that they want to do and stuff. I don't think nobody wants to be inconvenienced or feel like, hey, I can't do certain things. I think it's just that I think it's a fear thing.
Think so?
Like, yeah, I think it's a fear thing with doing it. Now, the fear may not be so great where it cripples them, but the fear may be strong enough where it does not suppress it, or it suppresses courage. It suppresses, any kind of thought or pursuit or interest. We're doing it right. You know what I'm saying?
Right, but we talk ourselves out of a lot of stuff. We could talk ourselves out of things. We could have the courage to do so and want to do it, but then we start stacking up all the things that could go wrong, that may never go wrong, and talk ourselves out of those things. Talk ourselves out of moving forward or moving on or getting another job. We talk ourselves out of stuff every day. I say to myself every day, I can mess up a good day on my own. I don't need no help.
I feel you with it.
Yeah.
San Francisco PR says normal is the perspective of the individual. You see it enough, it's normal. Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I will say this, guys. We're talking about how to avoid getting stuck in life. Feel free to call in. The call in number 678-740-9894. Again, that's 678-740-9894. What's up, Max? I see you tuning in. Another key thing I think people should do is just take action. Again, we're trying to avoid getting stuck. Take action, start small, begin with small steps to build momentum in your life. Remember, Rome wasn't built in one day. You ain't gonna get a funky situation in one day.
Right.
But kind of just take baby steps to get everything done. Stay consistent with it.
Mhm.
Stay consistent with it. Stay consistent with it. Don't think that you gotta, just hit it hard today, stop, whatever. Keep working. Keep chopping wood. Keep chopping wood. If you do that, and like I said again, remember I said, guys, those goals got to be attainable, incremental. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I appreciate you tuning in, but I appreciate it. If you can be consistent, to get
Right.
things done, and be
Right.
like anything about just like weight loss, getting you want to get some kind of certification, if you want to look saving towards getting a car, moving, buying a house, consistent.
Right.
Put this to the side, pay down my debt, pay down my debt, pay down my debt. You gotta do it all in one day.
Right.
But you gotta make sure that's one of the biggest things people get in those financial funds.
Mhm.
Oh man, I'm working for check. You gotta do something that's very uncomfortable.
Right.
And you got to make this, because again, if you're working, and you're paying the minimum, nothing's gonna change.
Right.
At some point, okay, let me just be uncomfortable with this for a little bit.
Mhm.
I was about to add something in the mix. Let me get another part time. Let me do this.
Mhm.
Let me add for this. Let me double up on that. You got to do something that got to make you uncomfortable, and then stay consistent with it. And I think what deters people a lot of times is, whereas I want to get this done in 6 months, but in reality, I might can't get it done within a year. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We got to be smart about it. All right, Max, what you got? Fear is so debilitating to me. I try to stay in my comfort zone. And you know what? I appreciate you sharing it. I don't think that's out of normal people try to stay in the comfort zone, because of what we talk about. Those game-changing moments of life, they're extremely frightening.
Right.
They're extremely frightening. But what people have to realize, if you can get over that fear, leaving that relationship, quitting that job, moving, whatever it is, going back to school, it will put you in a whole different stratosphere in life.
Mhm.
That's the thing about it. You got to remember that fear. It's nothing wrong with being scared,
Right.
but it's something wrong with not taking a chance of doing certain stuff. So that's the thing about it. You got to just understand that. Like, if you get past it, go behind that door.
Uh-huh.
But you have no idea what's behind it. It can put you in a whole different stratosphere.
Mm.
And that's the thing about it. When we do those particular things, that's what happens. And we can make excuses,
Mhm.
we can avoid, but it ain't nothing, and that's why you see sometimes some of your billionaires and stuff like that. A lot of times they just people that took risks that other people can't take.
Yeah.
You
I was going to ask you when you was talking about consistency. Do you think when it comes to consistency that we kind of destroy that on our own? That's our own. We messed that up on our own. A lot of us are just not consistent with things.
I think what stops people from being consistent, in my personal opinion, I think people try to do too much at once, where it's hard to be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that, let's take weight loss,
Right.
like working out, right? You sit there and say, well, look, I weigh X amount of pounds, and I want to lose this.
Right.
Instead of just saying, well, look, let me just spread this out over a certain amount of time. This is what I want to lose each month.
Mm-hmm.
This I want to lose each week. This I want to work on each day, and look at it from that perspective. The issue come up is what? If I do that over 4 months, I won't want to. I got this cruise in a month.
Right.
Realistically, it probably will take me 4 to 5 months to do that.
Right.
But I got a cruise next month. I got a wedding I got to get ready for.
Right.
And that's just how life is. So then you go get your Ozempic shot. Yo, that's okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Some
whatever. Yeah, whatever. So, man, that ain't how life works. Like,
Right,
you know
right.
what I'm saying? And I think we have to just understand that everything's a process. And your point about that being consistent, you just have to be realistic about that. But I'm gonna be honest with you, Lab. I think most people just ain't disciplined.
I was about to say.
They just ain't.
I think one of the other issues besides discipline is, when it comes to consistency, is that we want to see the result, and sometimes the result is not visible to us when we think we should see it. You get what I'm saying? Even like you're saying, 4 months. Let's break this out over 4 months. Okay, we do it for a month. We expect to see some results, and what happens is once that month go by and we don't see no results, we start saying, you know what, it ain't worth all this. That's where the consistency breaks down at for us, and then we, you know what I'm saying, we just give up, because even though we've given ourselves 4 months to get this completed, we want to see the results of our labor within that few months, a few weeks that we started. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you know what, Lam? That's a great point. But I will say this: typically, if you had a plan implemented, there still should be some change. Now it may not be the biggest impact because we know by science, it's a weight loss. If you put less in than you're putting out,
right.
You know what I'm
you
saying?
Put more in than you putting out,
yeah,
right?
Saying that right? No, less in than I'm putting out more than I'm putting in.
Okay.
My weight should drop.
Right.
So if my caloric intake decrease, or my activity level increases, there should be some change.
Right.
Right now, the change may not necessarily be where I want. I might have lost a few pounds off my head.
Right.
But my stomach still big.
Right.
My feet might have shrunk up a little bit, but my behind still big.
Right.
It's gonna come around, but you just gotta be realistic. I think those kind of things, because sometimes your figure may change, but the scale ain't moving in relation to it. Right. Because you might start working out, fat get hard, fat starts weighing, so scale saying one thing, but clothes saying another. I think you just got to find the right benchmarks and barometers to kind of look for with that. Same thing with perfect example with what I'm going through with my yard. Again, just with again, we're talking about how to avoid getting stuck in life. I got that True Green account. And I didn't I wanted have my shit looking like the Masters.
Right. You want to be about some corn off your grass.
I had so many leaves in my yard, man. It was, when they first did it, man, it looked like shit out of the wasteland.
Right.
But now everything's filling back in and stuff like that. But being realistic now, my yard's probably not going to be where it needs to be until next year. You know what I'm saying? Just being honest with you. But those kind of things I had to be realistic about. Now, I had what I wanted to see, but that just wasn't, what it was going to be, man.
Right.
So again, we're talking about how to avoid getting stuck in life. Just going through a couple things you guys can do to help you out. I will say this: another key thing is reflect and adapt. Self-reflection, regularly evaluate your progress and feelings, like we were just talking about, and be flexible. Adapt your plans as needed based on your reflections. You got to sit there and be honest with yourself and assess what's going on, because far too often we do things to the point we just made where look, things ain't happening the way I wanted to happen, but you do everything that you could have did. You do some things differently. You need to make some adjustments here and there, right? So we got to be realistic. What's up, Dan? You got to be realistic about certain things. Because I tried one thing, that don't necessarily mean that's what's gonna work. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the treadmill. I got it at 3.0. I might need to hit 3.2. Right. 3.3 to kind of pump it up a little bit.
Get that heartbeat beat.
Yeah, the actual time that I'm doing it is there. I'm putting in 30 minutes, an hour, however you want to do it. But I need to stretch myself a little bit more. That makes sense, right? So we got to be able to self-reflect, assess, be honest with ourselves, and do that. I think that's a tough thing. A lot of people don't want to do. They don't want to be. It's beating yourself up and being honest with yourself, not necessarily the same thing. Right. We some people out there just always gonna blame other people.
That's true.
Society did this, the white man did this, the supervisor, I ain't never had no daddy, all that other bullshit. People are always gonna have
that part.
Something to say, right? Everybody's not gonna be, accountable for themselves and stuff like that. Right. But sometimes you just gotta sit here and say, well, look, man, what can I do different, right? I had to do that. I had to do plenty of times with business, I had to do that, with marriage, health, with the kids and stuff like that. And what I could have did, I ain't perfect. I think I'm pretty damn good at a lot of stuff. Right. But I know I ain't perfect. And then some stuff I really have booked up and everything. But I have to be honest with myself about certain things also. You know what I mean?
I don't think a lot of people give honest self-evaluations. Now, people say that they evaluate themselves, they evaluate their progress and things that they're doing. But I think the honest evaluation where you're on the outside looking in is not something that is accomplished regularly. I don't think it's regularly accomplished. You can't hardly critique yourself in a way that's going to make you feel like, dang, I ain't do nothing right. You get what I'm saying? Nobody's going to critique themselves. I'm guilty of this. No one's going to critique themselves to the point of making themselves. It's always got to be something interjected into that problem. You get what I'm saying? It's just human nature. I did this, but they did that. I did this, but they did that. You get what I'm saying? Like, we don't ever critique ourselves 100%. Honestly,
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't think the reason why most people don't necessarily do a good critique of themselves is because they haven't been taught that. I'm not for military. We have what we call after action review, AAR things. We do a mission or whatever.
Mhm.
You know, what we did right, what we did wrong, what we do better. That's why I got it from the military.
Okay.
We always kind of assess everything. I think the vast majority of people don't necessarily know to do that.
Mhm.
You know, to say, okay, I give myself hard criticism, not want to beat myself up, but to evaluate what we did right, what we did wrong, how we make it different, this, that, and that, needs to adjust. Typically, if you haven't been taught that, I think you're not really thinking about that.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Right, I get what you're saying.
We're doing it. Some people just ain't gonna be accountable
Mhm.
at all with themselves, man. See what we got. Savage Melissa PR says, which Churchill said the best. Success consists of going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. Good point. Brother Dan said, "What's up, big bro? Man, I appreciate you tuning in, bro. Appreciate you tuning in." Again, tonight we're talking about how to avoid getting stuck in life. How to avoid getting stuck in life. Feel free to call in, add to the conversation. The call in number is 678-740-9894. Again, the call in number is 678-740-9894. You know, I just noticed that on my damn on my Instagram. I thought I had me a comment pin. I ain't have no.
Mm.
Moving too fast.
Right,
Moving
right.
too fast.
I think I threw you off with the sound.
Yeah.
See how I took responsibility for that action.
My brother. Let's see what's it. That call coming in, throwing that off. Okay, yeah, we're talking about how to avoid conflict. We'll give you guys a few different strategies that you can use to kind of help you avoid conflict. Another one, guys,
No, that's not what we're talking about.
how to avoid
Getting stuck.
How to avoid getting stuck in life. Shit, I had conflict on my damn phone. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
My accountability partner. But no, to that point, just that what I said, that was on my mind a second ago. With people not necessarily reflect, that's why accountability partners
Mhm.
are so important. That's why using technology, reminders, and all this other kind of stuff,
Right.
just to catch you, make sure you did these kind of things. That's why it's so crucial. We're doing that. I appreciate that, bro. Again, how to avoid getting stuck in life. I don't move too fast, dog. They're going over a couple of strategies. Another one is changing your environment. Right, changing your environment can be stop getting stuck in life.
Ooh.
And what I mean by that is, you simply declutter, remove physical and mental clutter to create a conducive space for progress. A lot of times, and I know I get guilty of that. I'm one of those folks. I got a big scatterbrain.
Mm-hmm.
So, excuse me, nothing uncommon. You walk up in my office, my desk look like an explosion.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know what every damn thing is on my desk,
Right.
but it's just out in chaos. Now, is that a good way for me to be? I don't feel it is, but I'm more used to it.
Right.
Because I can kind of figure out this, that, and that. But when you have everything kind of just straight up, I know where it is, you can move a lot freely with doing it, right? And I think sometimes when we have to sit here and restructure some stuff to make sure, man, step out of the office for a little bit.
Right.
That's why, especially when I'm working in the house, I step out, just walk around, check in the garden. Now I got my little fountain. I'm gonna go out there and do my feng shui. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? But you can kind of just step out for a second. Let me just get out the mix for a little bit and just, get my head together. Because a lot of times we can be in a little funky spots where, like, damn, man, you just stuck.
Right.
And everything just moving.
Grinding, like.
Yeah, and then you just got to kind of, your eyes getting tight, you're getting sleepy, and you just need to just get up, walk around, endorphins and sweat going and stuff, and then you're good to go. And also try to get yourself in a positive, be around positivity. People that can inspire you, support you, kick ideas with you and stuff like that. It can be very, very, very exponentially great for you, big picture wise. I remember when I was in grad school, we did a lot of case studies about innovation and technology, and a lot of those creative companies, company IDEO, and they do a lot of design company. Like people come to them and they'll say, okay, we need. I'm just thinking like New Rubbermaid might come to IDEO and say, listen, we want you to design a mug. The IDEO will have set up. You see how these ridges on here, gripping better, things fitting in. They design like different phone handles, how to grip it better, toothbrushes and stuff like that. And they can the cool part about it is the same way. A lot of those Silicon Valley companies like that, they have bicycles and skateboards. They try to spur thinking, right? And that was a big thing. Like that's what a lot of the younger corporations now. You have see a lot of them. They have that kind of environment,
right,
where they want to inspire people to think outside the box, creativity, things like that.
right.
So that's why they have them like that. Was doing it. Was in an environment where everybody kind of supported, thinking, okay, cool. Where people free brainstorming.
No offices, really. Just go outside in the park and use your computer.
There's nothing you're saying is stupid.
Right.
Everything you say, okay, man, a point, can you prove it? Right? So when you kind of in certain environments where you ain't scared to speak, scared to think, or do things, it can kind of spur a whole new way of thinking, a whole new way of moving, a whole new innovation coming in.
Yeah.
So those kind of things, you got to try to make sure that you can put yourself in an environment because, I can just say this. I remember, I'm gonna be real with you, and I don't. Nobody meant any harm.
Right.
But when I was contemplating getting out, I knew I was gonna get out. But when you're in the military, it's very easy to get stuck.
Very.
That's why a lot of time guys hit that age, 37, 38.
They just stay.
I'm talking about when you think you're retired.
Okay.
And it's like they kind of damn scared because that's all they've been doing.
Mm-hmm.
But using that first and second enlistment, that's when they come back to you, we'll call retention. And ain't no jobs out there.
Mm-hmm.
Why you gonna go out there? Just stay in or whatever. And your fear, you're like, man, shit, ain't nobody hiring, ain't nothing back home or whatever. Right. And a lot of people, especially here, when I was living like, hey man, why you gonna get out of the army, put you in that back here? But in my mind, like, who the hell something come back here? Like, I was enrolled in Atlanta Metro.
Right.
Shit, 2 months after I got out the army. I mean, so I already had my plan. But that's why I said people didn't mean no harm. It was just their fears. And I would tell
they were trying to project them on you.
Yeah, project them on me. And not trying to, and probably unconsciously.
Right.
I don't think they meant any harm. But you got to be very, very careful when you listen to with certain things. Because, again, man, folks was saying stuff. You like, no, that ain't me. That ain't me. And then we're talking about how to go against stuck in life. You got to be very, very careful to not let somebody else push their fears on you. Mm-hmm. Man, ain't nothing out here. I mean, those OGs ain't gonna stay in. You gonna do that. Oh man, like they wouldn't. They didn't have their vision of life. My vision for Pooch's life
was different.
Totally different. Right. That's why I say I ain't never take it personal. Young, I felt some type of way because I really didn't have any support.
Okay.
I will say this. My grandfather, he dead and gone. But when I told him, I said, Granddad, get out. He died about 6-7 months before I got out, right? Mm-hmm. But I remember, like, hey, Granddad, get out. You sure? He didn't come at the negative. Like, I might stay at the house for a little bit while I get on my feet, go back to school. Cool. I hollered at him about that. He was okay with it. But a lot of people were like, hey, not to do it even when I got out. Mm-hmm. I started going to school. And I had to be very, very mindful of, you were talking about how to avoid getting stuck in life. I had to be very mindful because I was going to school.
Right.
When I went to Atlanta Metro and I went to Georgia State at night, I couldn't get, let me say, how can I put it? I worked in a warehouse, but I couldn't get the type of job that would pull me away from school. Mm-hmm. Right? So there's some jobs like some of my buddies, they drove trucks. Some people, there was some more stable jobs. So like one of my cousins, like I was just the damn, I was sorry. Because, he offered me a job to go work in jail. Right. And one other cousin working a job to come work at Ford. I'm like, man, I can't do them jobs.
And go to school.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. I wasn't trying to do a semester week. I'm going full-fledged.
Trying to get it over and done with.
Yeah, over and done with, right? And when I was trying to rap that with people just weren't when they were. Right?
They weren't reciprocating the energy because they didn't understand it.
Exactly. So I had that was a little challenging because I was young. I'm 22, 23 years old.
Fresh out of the Army.
And I really didn't have. I'm the first one in my family that went to college or graduated.
Right.
So I didn't have OGs where I could sit here and give me a career path, Give me so I can just talk to my sons and just say, hey, you do this, and younger guys come to me and stuff like that. Hey, you want to do this? Go try to go this route. I didn't have that, right? So everything I'm doing, and my friends that went to school, they didn't have it either.
Right. So you just figured it out.
Yeah, we figure it out together. It's funny when we talk about it now. But that was one of the things, like when we talk about avoid getting stuck. I didn't want to put myself in one of situations. I wasn't above no job, but that was one thing where you have to make sure that when you try to go on your own path, you're gonna do things that people ain't necessarily familiar with, people that you love and trust. But you might have to go against the grain and do things differently that they just don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, even when I was in college and when I moved down here, was going to Morehouse, and I was like, I can't do it. I have people telling me, man, you need to just stay down there at Morehouse. Ain't nothing in Chicago. It wasn't that. It was that it was just such a change of culture for me. And I'm only 15, 16 years old, my freshman year of college, and I couldn't. My mind wasn't ready for that change so drastically. You get what I'm saying? And so, in order for me to be able to graduate out of college, I already knew what I wanted to do. I did have to change career path, studies in the middle because the chemical engineering was too much math for me. But I knew what I wanted to do. It was just the fact of if I stayed at Morehouse, even though I wanted to be a man at the station, it was just I wouldn't have been able to study properly. I wouldn't have been able to take in the classes and the professors and all that stuff like I wanted to because I would be so thrown off about the environment in which I was in. You get what I'm saying?
Did you have like family members that went to school that you could have?
I had one uncle who went to college, or two uncles. Or actually, let's put it this way: I had uncles that was in the military. Like I had 3 uncles that went to the military. They stayed there for 30 years. And I was gonna go that path, but they was like, "Nah, this ain't for you."
Well, what I'm asking you, like when you say, okay, when you, like you said, like that was an adjustment I couldn't do. It was just that was challenging for me to do. Did you have somebody in your family that you could say they could do it? They can say, okay, I understand it. Like how my kids might call.
Yeah, my uncle, he's like, I get what you're saying because he even broke it down to me. He said,
I didn't have it.
He was like, the fact that you are in school for one at such a young age, and the fact that you are in another state, and there's nobody. I didn't have any family here at the time, so and nobody was really there with you. Kind of it throws you off.
Gotcha.
He said, I understand. He told me, he said, I understand what you're saying. He said, I wish you would stay. He did throw some salt on me. He said, I wish you would stay, but I understand why you want to come back.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I ain't had that, man. So I pretty much had to go with my gut.
Right.
So they had no basis to look off and everything.
I was lucky that my uncles went to the military when they did. They went back. They went to the Marines in 1980.
Gotcha.
They had already been 5 and 6 years in by the time I got ready to go to college. You know what I'm saying? Then when I graduated with my master's, they was already 10 years in,
Okay.
9 years, something like that. Because it took me 6, 7 years. 7 years total to get my master's. 7 years total to get. So yeah. So they was already doing that, but they would guide me. They was the ones I would call. Because I felt like they knew a little bit of something, as far as because they was in the military. You know how you think, they in the military, they know something. You get what I'm saying? So I always would call them. They would try to guide me the best they could. But since they never really went to college outside of the military, now they did go to school in the military and got degrees, but they never physically, like you did, got out and went to school.
Yeah. And I went in when I was in the Army too, but I ain't had no OGs that really did that route that I could bounce stuff off for. That's why I'd be so glad I'd be there helping my boys.
Right.
What's up, Megan? See you tuning in. Publicity PR says people get defensive instead of accepting areas of growth. 100%. I'm gonna be honest with you. Accepting constructive criticism is a skill all by itself. but I will say this too. Being smart enough to understand, whoever give you the criticism, make sure they're credible. Because that's real. That's one of the big things. I talk about you with my children. Like, I don't mind anybody talking to my kids. Hell, I don't even need to know that, Uncle Lamb hollered at one of my boys. Right. But I need my kids. I'm very funny about. You need to make sure that this person is credible.
Right.
They ain't just giving you their damn opinion. Like if they have years of experience or doing this, or they referring you to somebody, but then somebody just telling you some shit and they never done it, and they really don't know it. You gotta be careful getting in a conversation with them. People love to care about you and give their feelings. Well, that hard opinion get confused with being a fact.
Right.
Like they just feel very strongly about this particular issue, but it's not a fact. You can actually refute that.
Right.
But you just feel strongly about it. And I've always been kind of hard on my boys about talking to people because a lot of people send their children to me and don't mind me talking. And I think I've built a good enough reputation to be honest with people to say, look, man, I don't know.
Right.
But you might want to call my brother Lamb.
Right.
He'll be able to direct you. Call my other homeboy here. They'll be more versed with it. And I'm honest about that.
Right.
But a lot of times people will sit here and tell you stuff that they really don't know. You got to be very, very, very careful about that. Because people steer the wrong that way and don't want to admit that they don't know something for whatever reason.
Now, and don't get me wrong, the constructive criticism can be very valid constructive criticism that will help you grow. But sometimes when you're delivering that constructive criticism, it could throw the person you're delivering it to off. You get what I'm saying? Because delivery is something that people don't think about either. Is when we're talking about getting stuck in a rut with anything, and you're trying to get advice from somebody, the way that they give you that advice can sometimes make you get stuck more.
Okay, now to counter that,
right?
I will say this, Lamb. You ain't gonna get help always the way you want to get it,
right?
Because a lot of times I hear your point. And people like, well, look, man, you ain't have to say it that way.
Right.
You could have said it that way. You're going to get the hell out of here. You got it.
Right. Okay.
You're not always going to be privy to, hey, man, let me tell you like this.
Right.
Whatever. You might get it. You know, that might be the soldier in me.
Right.
Might be the football player, coach in me.
Right.
But you're not always going to get assistance the way you like.
Right. I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? It may be hard. It may be gutter. But it may be honest.
Right.
I think sometimes,
but do you think the delivery will overshadow the fact that it is honest? Because some people I can take constructive criticism, fine. However it's delivered is fine. But some people just can't take a negative constructive criticism, the negative delivery for it, and it might be the best information, best criticism they ever got. Like they might want to be a cook, and this person like, man, you cook terrible. You need to think of something else. And they like, you know what I'm saying? Like the delivery just threw them off, and they like, I don't care what he said. He just hated. You get what I'm saying? You know how it goes.
No, I get you that. This is my viewpoint on that. At the end of the day, that's an opinion.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's an opinion that my food is bad. Now, if you sit here and say, well, look, man, you got 5 people on the ship, you only make so much stuff there, you lose the money.
Right.
That's more critical. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When we do that. So that's why I think sometimes we can disseminate that if a person tell me how they feel. Now, if you're telling me, look, man, you're losing money doing this. You sit here doing it, you're losing it this way. I get your point, but that's what we got to kind of be, look at it from the standpoint. It's just how they feel.
Right.
But Lad, just being real, it ain't always gonna come out sweet.
Right. And I understand that.
And here's the deal with that. That if I'm giving you hard constructive, use myself for example. If I'm giving you hard constructive criticism and you don't like my delivery, it ain't got shit to do with me. You the one still with the issue.
Right.
So I can get in my feelings about your delivery,
right?
But I still got the issue.
Right. I guess right. My anger with your delivery is not solving the issue.
Exactly.
Linda West says that's right. People are good for sharing their opinion, but have no factual knowledge or experience in the situation. As a society, we promote only accolades, but not criticism. This is a real problem.
And you know what? The issue comes. I appreciate that, Linda. I think one of the biggest things that people don't realize, like to my point, I mentioned before, I understand that the difference between somebody that you love, trust, or kind of revere, that being like an older family member or supervisor, whatever, they don't know shit about what they talk about. Now, They know a lot. They got a lot of life experience and they love me.
Right.
But they don't know nothing about this. I'm going to give you a perfect example. I'm 23 years in the game, entrepreneur. You know how many damn people my family gave me business advice? And I know they've been on their job.
Right.
They might have sold a couple patty pies, might have put a couple yards, might have painted a this, that, and that.
Right.
Sell some look, whatever. Hey, listen, man.
Right.
When you come on this side and it ain't nothing but me, that's a whole different animal. Right? It's a whole different animal. When you start signing leases, when you start signing mortgages, when you start signing contracts and stuff that can damage your personal livelihood, that's a whole different dynamic, right?
Right.
If you don't, and listen, man, I eat what I kill.
Right.
It's different. I can't wait till the first 15 or 2 weeks. I ain't got PTO.
Right.
I ain't got sick leave. And a lot of times people will say things, well, hey, man, take money to make money. Hey, you got to do this. The business work.
Right.
Oh, the hell?
What business you started that you spent money to make money?
And listen to me. I understand it comes from a good place, but I hear this all the time. People, I know what I've seen. My cousin, my other sister, they did this. That ain't me.
Right.
And you ain't did it, right? But I know they don't necessarily mean no harm. But again, they coming from a place of, I'm gonna use this word lightly, but it's honest, is ignorance. They don't know, right? But they ain't got no problem of giving me that opinion. You know? So no, we have to be very, very mindful of who we listen to. You know what I'm saying? Be appreciative. I always say be appreciative.
I think I get a little, and I'm guilty of it. I take responsibility for it. You know, Slick says Lab can't take criticism. It's not that I can't take criticism. In my times, I can't take criticism from somebody who's not doing it. Yeah. Like that'd be my thing. Like, you're not doing this. Like, you don't know. Like, it may look easy from the outside, but then on the inside, like you just said, physically doing it, you can't tell me how to do it if you haven't experienced or tried to do it 1 or 2 times. You can't tell me. I don't feel like you have the you can, like you say, you can give me an opinion, but just tell me what I need to do is not going to work with Lab. It's just not going to work.
Well, in democracy, we call it the USA. They can tell you anything.
Right.
You just got to be smart enough to just not go into that. I can understand the aggravation with it, because even when you somebody can give their opinion and say something to you. Well, I told you to do this. Listen, man. And you told me, and you telling me now, you still know what the hell you were talking about.
Right.
But I've had to be very tactful with some of my older family members telling me about business. I'm like, no, just kind of baby. And I know they sit funny in their chair like, you ain't never did that before.
Right.
I understand. It ain't the same.
Right.
It ain't. I understand. You cut grass on the side. I know you did. That's not demeaning, but it's a whole different dynamic.
Right.
When this it, I'm not doing this on the side. This is it.
Right.
And sometimes you got to be honest with people. Now you got to be very honest too. Shit, you didn't give a damn about my damn feelings, so I can't be over the word about yours.
Right.
To your point, you keep poking the bell. Eventually, I'm gonna growl. So before I growl, let me go and see and just say, "Look, that ain't how this goes, man."
Right.
They may like it, may not like it, but I'm gonna address it before it get way out of hand. Way out of hand.
Real quick, Linda West says, I had to tell a young person that your mother and grandmother has life experience, but as a business person and trades person, they don't know my area. Exactly. Linda West says, exactly. Do you know that not one family member has started or run a business but want to tell me about my business?
Yeah, that's nothing uncommon. And you have to be very careful with family, because like I always say, family and friends, they love you, but they don't know. And you gotta just be you can't see. I can address stuff with my partner, like, man, you know what you're talking about,
right?
Auntie, grandmama, and this. You gotta be tactful. But like, I had to stop over the years, many of conversations. Like, look, now you don't know. Now that ain't how this goes.
Right.
Because again, people they don't give a damn about your feelings.
Right.
What's that?
Slick says, I can say something and Lab can't hear it, but Poochie can say the same thing and Lab will say, yeah, you right.
Well, thank God for Poochie.
And it's not that I don't hear it. It's just that sometimes I want to be angry and she just don't want me to be angry. She wants me to hear the other side of the coin. And I'm not ready to flip that coin yet. Let me sit in my disapproval or disgust at what's going on for a second so I can get over it and not try to wash over it. And that'd be the problem, I think. Sometimes, Sticko like, no, don't worry about it. Don't. And I'm like, no, I want to be upset about this for a little bit because my feelings are hurt. Let me get past it and move on, and then we can talk about it.
But yeah, that's a great point with all that, Lab. One thing I will say, we kind of probably the roughest with the people that are closest to us.
Right.
So, like, to that point, should be listening to what you say.
Right.
But kind of like, look, man, I need you to be my buffer.
Right.
Well, I'm, getting through this anger or whatever. Was doing that.
And I'm not going to even or be angry with me and see what I'm talking about. And then I'll be like, you know what? It ain't worth the energy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because sometimes, and I'm not going to lie, I don't know how anyone else is, but sometimes we need to sit in that. Another way we're going to, and the only way some of us are going to be able to get past it is to sit with it, think about it, reminisce about it, and then move on from it.
Absolutely.
Because what happens is we just gloss over it. It may rear its ugly head some other way, and then we blow up. We got to sit in some things sometimes and let it marinate and then move past it. Because if we don't do that, we won't realize that it's not worth our time.
We're sitting in it. I don't disagree with you that we got to get out of it.
You're right.
Because that's what we're talking about tonight, how to avoid getting stuck in life. Because a lot of times, disappointment and things not going, they can create inaction. It can create bitterness. And what happens is you stay in that same place. There's so many people that attempted to try to do things and it didn't work. And because it didn't work, they never tried again. So like we said, you be honest with yourself, like, hey, man, it just wasn't the right place, wasn't the right time. I wasn't the right person at that moment. That don't mean it because my failures don't define me as a failure. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we got to have enough confidence in ourselves and awareness of what's going on to just not let a situation dictate our movement, right? That being real.
Right.
That's why I always share about the studio and all the stuff that didn't work for me. I can be honest about that kind of stuff. It wasn't me.
Right.
It wasn't me to do that. I can be straight up with it. I learned how to just stay in my lane. I remember just the tax business. I was in my first 10 years. I was really doing that whole chitlin circuit, going WLK, doing tax man, pushing out flyers. You go back to them days, we didn't have social media, right? So I'm damn guerrilla technique.
Right.
It's funny. Shout out to my boy Sherrod, my best friend Big Will. He passed 20 years ago. We celebrated his birthday Sunday, me and his little brother. And Sherrod brought up Sunday. We was at the cigar spot. He said, man, I remember Poochie when I was young. Sherrod, 30, 35, 36 now. But I know he was about 12, 13 years old. Now he's getting about $50 to go around the neighborhood
and pass out
flyers. Put on my flyer.
Right.
He telling me how the postman told him it was illegal to put it in the mailbox, so they put it on the flag. But it was just in my mind how I used to go, man. I'm talking about hitting the parking lots and doing this, that, and everything. And people have to understand when you actually trying to build something and go about doing it, you got to be prepared for damn my love, but damn train of thought, lad. What I was saying with it, no. What I'm about to say is that those years I was just grinding, building, and I had to hit a point when we talk, how to avoid getting stuck. I hadn't hit that. I was doing this like a little slow incline. I hadn't hit it. And I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I read that book. I shared it for $1 Million Tax Bill by Chauncey Hutter. And I read that book probably in 2010, something like that, maybe 2010. And when I read the book, it was a marketing book for tax businesses and stuff. He was talking about how he had, turned the family business. They were making $50,000, and his father was making $50,000 doing. He came in and made a $1 million business over 5 years afterwards. Read the book, got inspired, took a couple techniques, did okay with it, right? But I still on that kind of slow incline
plateau,
growth.
right?
And I said, look, I went and looked at them on YouTube. I seen some people testimonials, and I'm looking at my pocket, like $1,000, $1,200 to go to his seminar. Shit, I don't want to give this man no money for 2 days.
Right.
Avoid it till it hit me. I think that was like 2000. It was pre-pandemic. So I'm thinking
2018, 19.
Let's see. Let's call Change the Lives. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, man, this is Rusty.
What's going on now?
I just wanted to call and say I relate a lot to what you got to say, especially after I found worms in my stool. Fucking worms in my ass. My ass.
I know his voice. I know his voice.
I don't know what bad he calling. He still got a condition going on with his behind.
Right.
Oh, fella.
Oh, fella.
Oh, fella.
Linda West says that's why it's good to step back, cool emotions, so you can properly analyze what occurred, who you were at the time, what did you do right, and what did you do wrong. This helps you build confidence.
Absolutely. But real quick with that story, when I got to say, okay, let me go and pay this guy this money. So I paid the money. I went to the seminar in Phoenix. I can't remember that. I think it was 16, 17 when I went. But man, when I say, I don't know if I did quadruple revenues. I mean, just simple things that I paid.
Right.
Just going there because I had to get old pays. Let me get this guy this money or whatever. And the knowledge and the information, even meeting the other people that were there kicking out ideas and stuff like that, it changed everything. And I'm just saying, from personal experience, I wasn't necessarily stuck, but I wasn't really going nowhere.
Right.
I was making money.
Okay.
Just like you working at your job, 2%, 4% raise, I was doing that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But I did like this.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Once I went to the seminar, and I had to do something different. I had to come out of them desks. I had to go to the damn other side of the country.
Okay.
I had to do things differently to change that. Same thing what I did with the YouTube channel. When I went and dealt with Lawrence and Al with the Black Speakers Network, going to Black Business School and learning the techniques for having YouTube, social media, finding your niche market, doing all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Shit was like this, then it did like that.
Right.
Also had something called a pandemic happening at the same time. But I always say, when opportunity comes, just be prepared. You know what it's going to happen. To try yourself the best to be prepared. Because I had different opportunities over the years. Missed out because I wasn't ready.
Right.
But that time came, I was ready. But those were times I had to come out, pay some money, and at the end, pay some money and do things differently. Sit down, get a harsh criticism. I sit in some of the mastermind groups and classes. I hear every damn thing I wanted to hear.
Right.
I remember when I was sitting in the hot seat in that class with Chelsea, and I was just saying, like, yeah, I do this, do that, da. People were damn balled up and threw it at.
What?
And I was just like, hold on now.
Right.
And he's like, hey, do this, do that. He was just, the things that I thought were good,
right?
They were good, but they wanted things to make me great.
Okay.
So when I did things to make me great, that's when the business
took off. Okay.
So again, we're talking about how to avoid getting stuck in life. You gotta understand that the things that you might be doing might be cool, you might be good, but it's always better. It's always great. It's always best. And when you start can accept that there are things you can do differently, even though what you're doing is working.
Right.
Even what you're doing is okay, and you survive, and you're doing okay with it. But that's the things you can do that be totally different. Hell, it can put you in a whole different stratosphere. I'm speaking of personal experience with that. Right. So that's why I want to share that with you. And that's why I say, also be open to new opportunities. That's one the point that that's wrong being curious to look out. Like me and Lab, both of us are avid readers and lifelong learners. We like to look at things and hear things different. We bounce ideas with each other and ask each other all the time. But be okay with taking risks. Be okay with doing things that people don't normally do. Because again, we got taking risks, got taking a chance.
Right.
Taking a risk is sleeping with somebody with protection. Taking a chance is just all about it.
Right.
They won't call it. But all stuff aside again, when we look at the point of taking the risk, we've done some kind of intel, some kind of research to find out to mitigate those losses and stuff. That's when we look at taking those risks. But just don't be afraid of doing that. And create accountability for yourself. Set deadlines, have those benchmarks in place. I've shared with you guys. But if you haven't, go back, look at previous videos, and we're going to goal setting those benchmarks, have those kind of things set up, share your goals with people, accountability partners, those reminders using YouTube, Apple with the digital world. There's so much technology that can keep you, on top of yourself. You have to do it. You got those things set up with daily, weekly, whatever. Right. Just like you got your alarm clock. Take advantage of it, okay?
Don't be shy at YouTube University, man.
No.
Look, I don't know how to fix computers through YouTube University. I'm repairing computers now.
Well, I'm gonna be real with you. All the information I just did the video with the pond and the backyard stuff, that was like videos after videos after videos, different ideas, adding together what worked for me, what didn't work, and putting that together.
It's no reason to say you don't know nowadays. Like you always say, the world is flat. we are, man, you could type anything in that YouTube. Anything just about. I haven't stretched the boundaries of it, but anything I think of, I type in YouTube and it comes up.
Well, you see how easy it is, how the places to keep you from researching.
Right.
Right? We talk about Google University,
Right.
YouTube University. Take advantage of it.
They even get free courses. They even get free courses now.
The world at your fingertips, land.
Yeah.
Hell, Harvard and all the other schools, they get free courses.
They give the last year courses for free, but you still can take them.
Come on now.
Right.
You know, this is the most important muscle in your body, that being your mind.
Right.
You can work it forever unless something, happens for medical wise,
Right.
mental, or what's the other one?
Dementia's one.
Yeah, but what's the other
Parkinson's.
Not Parkinson's. Lab. What's the main one? Not dementia. Yeah, you got me feel like I might have it.
Dementia's one.
Yeah, dementia. But what's the main one? I
can't think of it.
When memory goes out. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about dementia. Man.
It's another one.
Yeah, the main one. Dementia is like a lighter shade of of it and everything.
I know what you're talking about too.
Yeah,
it's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah,
too.
But it'll come out. Come out later. But those kind of things you want to make sure that you're on top of. Again, we're trying to avoid getting stuck in life. I think if you put in use technology, be disciplined with yourself, work hard, don't be your own barrier to greatness. I think you'll be okay. I think you'll be okay with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, Lab, I can't remember. Nobody chat want to help out with it.
Right. Linda West says it's amazing the information online and smartphone. No more card catalogs or waiting for weeks to get your RFI fulfilled.
Gotcha. Hey, Christopher Duncan, my girl Max, Alzheimer's.
All timers. Thank y'all so much.
Me and Lab, we got a damn.
We done lost it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Too damn nerds can't remember shit. But nah, man, we had a great discussion tonight. I appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll be talking about how to avoid getting stuck in life. Listen, guys, make sure you go to the main hub. I know everybody's coming on a different platform. Changing Lives, hosted by Deonte Burden. Google it. You can go to YouTube. We have over 1,000 videos on the YouTube channel. I just streamed this video tonight's show with on Mr. Shortall as well.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, I think that cross information in regards to that. But yeah, you can go to Change Your Lives, hosted by Deonte Burden on YouTube. That's where the whole library of all the other videos there. If you had to leave, came in the middle of the show, you just want to get the whole gist of what we talked about. Definitely go there and subscribe to the channel. But listen, guys, I appreciate our love and support. Y'all take care of yourself. Again, with that, I got the contact information. You got show ideas and things you want to talk about on a later basis. Just hit me up with that. Y'all take care, be safe, love you, and I'll talk with you soon.
Wrong one. Anyway.